stepping up my game. I'm a groove school, yes I am. With groove I know I can. Read my master plan. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. I'm moving. I'm moving, yes I am. Groove Nation inspires me. The buzz loose and break free. I'm dancing to my dreams. Bursting at the seams. I'm feeling groove-alicious. Groove knows who I am. 'Cause now is my time to have a groove state of mind. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving.
Hello.
We're grooving over here, Donna.
We are. How are you, my friend?
I am terrific. It is fabulous to be on our first live call of the Groove Growth Program. How's that feel?
It's exciting. Yeah, I'm happy to be here helping you. For those of you that don't know, I'm Donna Fox. I'm the CMO of Groove. I'm here with Ridgely Goldsborough. He is our guide through a program called Groove Growth. Today, he's the expert. I am here to love and support him and help him with questions that they come in from you. Also, if you have questions about Groove itself or the Groove platform, those will go to me. Ridgely's really our expert on leadership development, and that's why he's here, and that's why we've created the Groove Growth Program for you. So Ridgely, I thought maybe we could start just as people are getting in and getting oriented with maybe reminding them what the Groove Growth Program is, what this month's content was about, and why you're here.
Sounds terrific. So one of the things that I felt that I think is so great about Groove is always trying to get to the next level. And we're trying to get people to the next level with their business. We're trying to get people to the next level with their presence. We're trying to get people to the next level with their sales, their webinars, their funnels, their everything. But there's also the opportunity to get to the next level as a person. So one of the things that I love about the program called Groove Growth is not only do we help people become better business people, but we make people better people. And we make leaders better leaders. We make people more understanding, more open, etc., through bringing together experts, visionaries, leaders who've dedicated most of their lives to helping the rest of us be those kind of people, learn those kinds of things. And so for me, being able to act as largely a curator as well as a creator. So creator, I love to create personal development content. I've written 19 books so far, still working on some more. I know, right? But I love being the curator because the curator enables me to be the student. So I get to go out there and call in people. Like just this week alone, sneak preview, we had Natalie Ledwell, the creator of Mind Movies, one of the giants in personal development, the law of attraction, was the day before yesterday. Yesterday, I had legendary online marketer Alex Mandossian on talking about high offers and how to keep optimism and attitude, which is the topic for next month. And it was just phenomenal. Next week, I'm with Deborah Poneman, and I will continue to bring the legendary people in leadership development and personal growth to the Groove community every single week, 4 times a month, depending, because there may be a 5th week sometimes, you never know, to help us really take our game to the next level as human beings. And here's what's funny. The more clear you are here, the more effective you are working. The more clear you are on your health, the more effective you are getting your goals accomplished. In other words, everything becomes better when you take care of your personal development, your leadership development, and you continue evolving as a person. So for me, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Groove for giving me the opportunity to be this guy that brings amazing leaders and experts to us so that we can all learn together. I almost feel like I've got the best job in the world because I have to do this. So that means I have to do the personal development. I have to do the leadership development myself because I'm bringing all these people saying, hey, listen to this gal right here. Hey, listen to this guy over here. Well, if you ain't doing it, it's kind of like, do as I say, not as I do. How'd that work out for all the parents of the world? Just saying, right?
Yeah. I was talking to, we're partnering with a nonprofit organization, and I was on a conference with them earlier this week, and we were talking a little bit about our GrooveGrowth Program and how it is really our goal to provide that, that personal leadership development for our members because they need it. Whether they know it or not, they need it. We all need it. You know as well as I do. And anybody who's been in the business a long time knows that the inner work is the most important work. And he just thought it was the greatest thing ever. He said he came from corporate where they're constantly being sent to team building retreats and personal development sessions and having speakers come in. And that doesn't really exist in the entrepreneurship world. And it's very, very easy to get busy moving pixels on a page or writing copy and forgetting to get your mind right and get your mindset in the right place. So I am so glad that you can be the person for Groove to make sure that all of our members have that benefit that comes with very naturally when you're an employee of a company, but not at all when you wind up being an employee of yourself. Which is what most of our Groovesters are when they're getting started.
Yeah, for sure. And I love standing in front of the room and say, okay, who here took a shower today? Great. Awesome. Who here brushed their teeth today? Oh, fantastic. We appreciate that. Who here washed their mind? Oh, hello. Wait, we wash our body, we brush our teeth, but we don't clean or cleanse our mind. And here's the thing that I don't know where I put all these analogies and these metaphors and stuff. I definitely never created any of them myself, just letting you know. But I pay a lot of attention to what other people say. And darkness, fundamental darkness, and going down a hole is something that happens naturally. If you leave a garden alone, weeds are coming. Guaranteed. Weeds are coming, no matter what. We have to step into the light. We have to make an effort to go in the direction of the light because the darkness is going to creep in. If you do nothing, guaranteed that you're going to get those feelings, that sorrow, those things, those excuses. You buy into the noise that is out there. And it requires a continuous effort to clean our mind and pull out the weeds in order to keep moving forward, especially if your goals are to go farther than you've ever been before, which I would think, Donna, you tell me, that's probably most Groovesters, right?
Yeah,
most Groovesters want to go farther than they've ever been before.
I would think. No one decides to run an online business that doesn't want to see some progression or growth in their life. So
yeah. So what's crazy to me is that there's a disconnect on the fact that we have to evolve to go further no matter what. It's like, I want to be stronger than I've ever been before. Well, guess what? You got to go lift some more weights. It doesn't happen by default. It does not happen by accident. We have to put in that effort to evolve our mind and grow our leadership skills alongside our technical skills, alongside our copywriting, storytelling, funnel building, page building. All of those things are great. But if you want to go further than you've ever been before, you have to do the work on the inside. And one thing I want to remind everybody is happiness, the ultimate goal for most of us, right? Making money is a goal, but it is so that you can do things, right? Getting in shape is so that you can do stuff. Where's the ultimate goal? Happiness. And as my mentor, Jim Rohn, who you'll hear me reference many, many times, said all the time, happiness is an inside job. Nobody else can give it to you. We have to go in and go find it. And I'd love to hear from Groovesters out there, some Groovesters, what are your goals for 2022? What are some of your goals? What are the goals? We'd love to hear what those are and talk about what that looks like, because we're in January still. We're talking about the month of goals and goal setting and dreaming and all those kinds of things. And I know it's one of your favorite topics. You teach it, Donna. How'd that happen? What made you make the decision that it was important enough that I'm going to teach it? You're on mute, my dear.
I do that all the time. It's my dogs bark, I put it on mute, and then I forget to take it off.
Yep.
If there is one sentence that applies to me, it's you're on mute. Because I always am. Makes it really hard to get in it and not effective to get a point across that way. So here's how I decided to teach about goals. Last year, we put together a program called the Fast Start Marketing Lab. And it was meant to be kind of a quick start guide to Groove. But as we started to talk about all of the things that we wanted to put in that training, what we wound up creating was a masterclass on marketing. And I let everyone else on the team decide what they wanted to train on. And then I went in and filled the holes. And
Wow.
Yeah.
What a fabulous leadership position to take. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I wanted everyone to, I believe that people need to work in their bliss, that there's a sweet spot that makes you blissful. And if possible, that's where you should be functioning as often as you can. Now we all have work that we have to do that we don't really love to do, but the more you can work in your bliss, the more motivated and happy you're going to be internally. So when we were putting together that program, I just went to everyone and said, what would you like to teach about? What would you like to talk about? Then I got together and said, okay, I took them all and put them in place and created the narrative. This is the order that we're going to teach these classes in. This is what it needs to cover. I went back to a couple of people and said, could you expand on this topic a little bit? Even though it wasn't part of your original plan, it helps us fill the holes. And what I was left with was, I believe, 4 sessions that I thought needed to be added to the content that weren't there. And those are the ones that I did. So that's how I started teaching goals.
And so where did you go? I mean, that's just not so easy. I mean, there are people who spend their whole lives figuring out how to teach about goals and goal setting. And where did you go to find that content to be able to create a 3-hour training that you now have available to all Groovesters inside the Groove Growth community?
I'm the product of the product, as they say. I have bookshelves that are overflowing. In fact, years ago, I dumped all of my books to move to Kindle. And since then, I've just been accumulating more books. So bookshelves are overflowing. Most of them I actually read. I read a lot. I'm a continuous student. So the only place I really needed to go was inside myself and take a look at what I do and the practices that I've developed over the years that have worked for me. Because it didn't need to be the be-all, end-all goal setting course. It just needed to be my approach and view to goal setting to help someone who maybe hadn't heard it before. So that's really what it was. It was my distillation of the things that I thought were important. And it's actually a little bit more than goal setting. It's called the 9 CEO habits. The things that I think that are important for everyone who is running their own company or managing a team or both need to do to get their mind right. So that's exactly how I decided to teach about goal setting. It wasn't anything I did before last year and not something I've done since I did that training.
You know, it's interesting because in bringing on Groove Growth guests moving forward, one of the things that I do when I contact, and I'm blessed that we have a substantial Rolodex in between your Rolodex and my Rolodex and Tom Beal's Rolodex. We pretty much know everybody. So,
True.
you know, we like, okay, call them up. But what I say to them is, here are our list of topics for the entire year of 2022. Which one gives you the most juice?
Yep.
Which one do you love the most? Where do you want to be? And I have some ideas, obviously. I'm generally calling people for the following month. But I was talking to one leader, I'll keep him quiet for now, a couple of days ago. And he said, you know what? What really gives me the juice is November. I'm like, okay, you're down, November.
Right.
Because in November, we have that topic that really fires him up. And I think that's exactly right. It's interesting because just to your point, of all the things that I do, and there are a lot that I wish maybe somebody else could do, but I have to do them anyway. This is the most fun for me. This right here, leadership development, leadership growth, sharing with others how to become a better person, a better human being, someone who can be of greater service to humanity and themselves is the most fun thing that I do. It is my favorite. It gives me the most juice. I'm like, can't wait to do that more and be a part of this community. And by the way, not only would I love to hear goals that people have, if anybody has some goals you want to share, but also any question that you have about goals or goal setting or why it's important or why you should and why, or argument or counterpoint or whatever you want, please contribute. Obviously, we'd love to hear from you and have a dialogue about all of that. I heard a thing that I did not know. And of course, it's because, you know, we only pay attention to X amount of things that come into our sphere, right? I love this analogy. If you are looking for a parking space and you pull into a parking lot, you will see somebody jingling their keys. You'll see the red light come on somebody's brake in the back. You'll see a car begin to come out or whatever. If you're not, you don't see any of that stuff whatsoever, because there's so much data coming at us all the time that we filter constantly. So maybe this was not in my radar as much as it ought to be. I always set my goals. I've been doing that for years, so that was not a thing. But I found out that January 19th is a very uniquely labeled day. Do you know what January 19th is?
I do. It's Blue Monday.
Yeah, World Quitters Day.
Oh, World Quitters
Day. They call it World Quitters Day because they've done these surveys that say all those New Year's resolutions, all those goals at the beginning of the year, all those things, approximately, and I don't know how they made this calculation, approximately 800 million people quit on January 19th.
Got it. I just realized Blue Monday is actually January 17th of the year, which is a British expression for the same thing. It's that day when the winter hits you. You no longer have holiday lights and parties and things, and you failed on your New Year's resolutions. So you just get whacked that Monday morning.
Exactly. And, you know, back to that analogy of you brush your teeth every day, why wouldn't you wash your mind every day? Mm-hmm. That's why everyone needs a support system. You need a support system to keep you going. We have a support system in Groove to help with technical things, to help with marketing things, to help with, we also need the support system to help with our mental health, to keep us evolving and reminding ourselves that it's worth the battle. So I don't know about you, but I do know about you actually. But there are days that are tough. Am I right?
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
I hope everybody caught that reaction. He goes, yeah. Like, that was just a very subtle yet dramatic moment from Donna Fox right there.
We're going into launch next week. There are days that are tough.
Exactly. And on those days that are tough, the general tendency is to want to quit or give up or stop. And we push through it if and only if we have the developed inside muscle that enables us to push through when others quit, right? Doesn't happen by accident. We have to build that thing on the inside so that when you need the switch, you can hit the switch. I was talking to, because as a professional speaker, I've had that occasion. I've had the occasion of being incredibly sick, like super sick. I literally, one time I had to speak in San Francisco, and I had to go to Africa. I was speaking in Kenya and Nairobi and Lagos and whatever, a bunch of places. And I forgot to get my yellow fever shot. And you have to have one, or you cannot come into Africa. Sorry. And they said, oh, by the way, you're probably going to feel really pretty sick for a day. Okay, fine. And it's probably going to hit you 3 days from now. So I'm like, okay, I got to leave Thursday, so I got to get the shot Monday. And I got to speak Friday morning. And I am in San Francisco, and this thing hits me. And all of a sudden, I am shaking, completely shaking. The body drenched with sweat, all super crazy, all night long. Speaking at 10 in the morning. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I drag my sorry carcass to the gym, go into the sauna with 2 huge bottles of water, and just start trying to, I've got to sweat. I've got to do something. I don't know what the heck I got to do, whatever. And then I went in, put my suit on. At 10 o'clock, I gave the presentation. Nobody knew anything. And at 11:15, I was back in my bed, shaking and sweating like a maniac, because there's the switch, and I've got the switch. Well, the switch came because of years of training and development and whatever that tells me I can hit the switch when necessary. It's there, you know it, but nobody gave me the switch. You got to build that switch. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've done my share of presentations where, you somehow rally for those 2 hours and give it all that you can. And then moments later, you're back in bed. So, yep, I've definitely done it.
The stick-to-itiveness, the perseverance, the learning, all of those things are leadership development and personal development issues that we have an opportunity here in Groove Growth to focus on and help our entire community with. So, by the way, you did notice my groove drink, right?
I did. It's the right color. My groove drink is not the right color, but keeps.
This is Synergy Kombucha. There you go. Just saying, this does not have alcohol. Just kombucha. Okay. So, if you were to say, what would you love to see as goals that come out of Groove Growth by the end of the year in 2022, Donna, what would that be? What would you love to see from this?
From Groove Growth? Oh, gosh, that's a great question.
It's my job to ask probing questions, by the way.
So what I want to see is a community that is empowered to embrace the challenges that come up with business ownership head on, because they know that they can, and they have support. And I mean both our actual technical support team, but the community supporting them. I think I used to do this thing at the end of some of my talks, especially at the end of a webinar where, so I start rocking back and forth like this on the stage. And I say, you guys, you're all sitting there. You've got new programs and new mentors for this weekend. You have pages and pages of information, and you are so ready to go out there and do it. And it's like you're sitting on a trapeze, just waiting to jump to the other side. The problem is, if you don't jump now, what happens? You're going to slow down. You're going to lose motivation. And then if you do jump, there's no way you're going to reach the other side. So you have to jump quickly. You have to jump now while you're motivated and inspired. And the really important thing is to remember that you have the entire staff of Groove Growth, the entire community, all underneath you holding that net.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, and I think that is what I want people to get from Groove Growth, is to realize just how many people are holding the net for them.
I'd like to add to that, because I think that's beautiful and amazing. I'd like to get that people are empowered and plugged in.
Yeah.
In other words, actively plugged in. Because here's what I do know for sure. You, all of you, me, you, Donna, and everybody watching, you have no idea how far you can go until you start heading in that direction. You have no idea how amazing things can be until you start moving in the direction of being amazing. And it's really hard to do by yourself. But when you have a system and you plug in and you get constant encouragement and constant people behind you, in front of you, people pulling, people pushing, people encouraging, people nudging, people shoving you in the direction that you are leaning in, you can get a lot further. So for me, I would love to see that the Groove Growth community is both empowered and fully plugged in, so that it's a growing thing. It has literally an energy of its own that takes on, like, wow, man, I love Groove. I love everything about Groove. Oh, you know about Groove Growth? You don't? What do you mean you don't know about Groove Growth? Are you kidding? It's crazy. I want that feeling so that we truly, I want the stories. Like, think about GrooveCon 2023, right? Right at the beginning of the year, right? Do we have dates yet? I don't know if we have dates or not, but it's like beginning of the year.
I don't have dates yet, but I probably should if I just sat down and figured it out, because I think we have the cruise dates. So I could probably plan the GrooveCon dates.
I want to be bombarded with stories at GrooveCon. After 1 year of Groove Growth, I want to be talking to people and have them say, hey, you know, so-and-so that you brought on, they said something that literally changed my marriage. You know, that other person that came in and taught about this and such, they helped me get to the next level. You know, when Donna Fox was on and she did this and this and this, something clicked inside that day. And that day was the day that I made that decision, the day that I got engaged for real, the day that changed everything. I want that. At GrooveCon next year, it's going to be so much fun. I don't want to have a voice left from talking to all the people and listening to testimonials and success stories and love fests that we have at GrooveCon anyway, but even more because of the difference we made in people's lives. That's what I want.
I love that. That is a great goal, because it's those stories from people about change that give us all our fuel. Those are the logs on our fire for sure.
It's so funny. When I was working with Jim Rohn, and of course I was Jim Rohn's voice in Spanish, and we traveled all over Latin America, I would have people come up to me and quote my tapes. It was hilarious. You get people come up and say, a little bit more. I know how you do a little bit more. But and I was like, did you really listen to the tape that many times that you can actually quote what I said at the tape? Oh, yeah, no, we listened to it on the way to school every single day. Really? Wow. Okay. Well, I guess that made a difference somehow. And that's really, really cool and really motivating. You get that, man, that's okay. Because, by the way, anything that I said is something that I heard from somebody else. It was not like I came up with these things. I mean,
as far as I know, that applies to all of us.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, none of us were born with books in our head or knowledge or words or any of that. Everything that all of us do is all learned behavior, period.
Yeah.
I don't believe that people actually create or think of things themselves.
Yeah.
They process information that comes to them from many different sources.
Yeah. And as they find great stuff, you take it and you use it and you become a part of that. I remember Jim Rohn, one of the things you talk about is your personal philosophy. What is your personal philosophy? And he would say in his Jim Rohn voice, because your personal philosophy, right? He would just go on that way, right? I could do a pretty good Jim Rohn. I spent a lot of time with that dude. He would say, your personal philosophy determines your thoughts. Your thoughts determine your actions, and your actions always, always, always determine your results. So ask yourself, what is your personal philosophy, and what are you doing to work on it? Because certainly garbage in, you know what's coming out, right? And there's such an opportunity, which is why in Groove Growth, we present content in written form, in audio form, in video form, in live form, like right now. So there is no excuse for anyone not to tap in, because whatever your modality is, it's there. We're going to make it available to you in the way that you want to receive the content, which I think is fabulous. So What about your goal for Groove as a whole, for Groove Digital for 2022? I'm asking deep questions. Y'all ought to be putting some goals in here in the chat and let me know what you think. What do you think, Donna? What do you got for Groove?
My goal for Groove is the same this year as it was last year, and will continue to be always my goal for Groove, is that Groove is the best online business building platform that it can be.
Mm-hmm.
That is a never-ending goal. I don't think I will ever reach it, because we can always improve. We can always get better. So that's a goal that is my goal next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. And in 21, 25, when we're talking about Groove Space, it'll be my goal then too.
I love that. I love that. 2025, talk about Groove Space. Why not, right? We got stuff we can share with Martians. I'm down. But,
notice I plan on being here in another 105 years. So
hey, Mark Hyman, the head of the Cleveland Clinic, just came out with a thing saying, if you really pay attention, 100 is the new 70. Just saying. 100 is the new 70. And I'm down with that program, by the way. I'm like all in to paying attention to what that means, because there's a lot of service left in this world that needs to be done by yous and me's.
Yeah. Longevity is one of my passions, is anti-aging, not just physically sure, I don't like wrinkles any more than anyone else does, but leading a vibrant life into my hundreds is one of my passions, learning about that, preparing to be here. Yeah. And so much about preparing to be here in 50 years is acting now like you're going to be here in 50 years and taking care of yourself now. If you know that your car needs to last you for 50 years, you're going to drive it differently than a car when you know you're going to get a new one next year.
That's exactly right. 100%. And the one car you're driving forever is the one you're hanging out in right now, that's looking at you in the mirror every time you take a look at yourself.
Yep.
Just say it. All right. What else do we need to cover today? I know we're just getting going with the lives every month. I know everybody's super busy. Thoughts?
I want to talk about why you think people quit. Like, why is the 19th Quitter's Day? I get the, it's called Quitter's Day because most people have quit on their goals by then. But why do you think that is? Why do people quit?
I think there's a number of things. First, Jim Rohn used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's easy to eat an apple. It's also easy not to eat an apple. Mm-hmm. And by the way, for anybody that cares, there's a lot of very much science in what is in the skin of an apple that is super, super good for your health, by the way.
Yep.
So there's a lot of, it's like chicken soup helps you get better. It really does. And there's all kinds of science behind why chicken soup is really good for you when you have a cold. So I think that people start out with great intentions and really sincerely mean it. Oh, it's the beginning of the year. It's time for me to really think on. And they start out, and it's hilarious. I just remember going to yoga with my wife right at the beginning of January. And there's like all these people in there that we've never, ever seen before. And as the month has gone on, it's dwindled down already. And now we're toward the end of January, and all those people, they're not there anymore. So I think despite great intentions, if people don't have a bigger motivation than, oh, it's January and I got to go now, it's just as easy to just stop. So I think people just go, okay, I'm good. There's nothing that's attached to what they're trying to accomplish with whatever the resolution is, other than the thought, I'm supposed to make resolutions. It's New Year's. Somebody told me I'm supposed to do that. So part one is you've got to have a driver that is greater than, oh, I'm supposed to make a resolution. What is the reason behind you're looking to lose weight, or you're looking to be more successful financially, or you're looking to connect more with loved ones? What is the driver behind that? Writing that down, that's easy. But what's the thing, the why of it? That I think is super, super key. The second thing is people And you talk about this in your goal setting. When we had a great conversation about goal setting, people set ridiculous goals that are super hard. And rather than setting something that is reasonable that could be accomplished and make you feel good, you start to feel bad about the fact that you're having the recognition that what you said you wanted to do is really kind of ridiculous and unreasonable. And therefore, I should probably stop doing it before I feel even worse about myself. It's like a complete limiting belief that is a self-destructive kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy when you don't have any skill in setting realistic targets and in setting realistic goals. That's why we're talking about personal development. Leadership development is a forever path. It never, ever ends. The process of learning how to do groove things, like I am continuously in awe about how little I know about the magnificent capabilities of Groove. And I'm talking to my tech team and whatever, we're going in there and they're, well, did you know you could do this? No. Did you know you could do this? No. Did you know we could do this? No. Did you know there was a, no. Okay. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to know or that I'm not going to stay in learning mode. And I was talking to Angie Norris, Wizard Groovester, and she was saying she spends like half her day inside Groove. But she also said that she spends about a half an hour a day, half an hour. That's 30 minutes. Any Groovester can spend 30 minutes trying to learn something new about Groove, which is why she feels like she has mastered, at least has a really good handle on what's going on. To me, setting goals is no different. You think that just because you make the decision to set goals that you know how, or that you're good at it, or that you're going to set the ones that are appropriate and easy to go after? Or do you think it might be like, I really don't know how to set goals, so maybe I'm going to fail. What does fail look like? Looks like January 19th.
Interesting.
Right?
I think a lot of reason why people fail is because they're too excited about their goals to begin with, and they do too much and they burn out. Rather than thinking, okay, if my goal is to be, I'll take weight loss because it's an easy one to quantify and talk about. My goal is to lose 25 pounds this year, then I need to know that I lose 3 pounds the first month and 2 every other month. But instead, I'm going to try to lose all 25 pounds this week. So I'm reading everything and on the treadmill for hours and lifting weights and not eating at all. And I try to do it all at once. And then I burn out. And obviously that's it's an argument in the extreme. It's absurd that someone would do that. But I think that people do that with their business goals, with their financial goals. They try to go all in, which you should be mentally. But it's really, really important to maintain balance and have some flexibility in your life and not bite off more of that apple that you can chew. It really is about breaking your goals down into what behaviors do I need to do? Or as in my strategy, what person do I need to become to achieve this goal?
And where do I go to get help? And where do I go to get help? And by the way, we have a fabulous program planned for the whole year of Groove Growth. But one of the things that I'm hoping that people take advantage of is if this particular month, this particular person resonates with you, tap into what they're doing. Go a little deeper. In Groove Growth, our job is to expose you to concepts, bring you great valuable information, and also provide the platform where you can find and get more, right? So if your thing is, I really need to learn about how to set goals, then I really hope that you paid attention to Donna Fox, first week of the month, Mike Sparkman, second week of the month, Angie Norris, third week of the month. And whatever resonated with you, dig a little deeper on that thing. Go a little further on that thing so that you can find out more about that thing that you need. Now we're going into February. In February, we're going to focus on optimism and attitude. Zig Ziglar used to say, I love it. He used to say, you have to have an attitude of altitude. Yes. Right? So that you're always looking to go higher and higher and higher. Well, you do. And if you have a great attitude, it enables you to get through those tough days. If you have a great attitude, it enables you to keep on going. Optimism is amazing. Is the glass half full or half empty? Well, guess what? if your glass is half empty, you see things as half empty. If your glass is half full, you see them as half full. And the difference is astounding. And the difference in productivity and success quotient for those people who are optimistic is crazy over what it is for those people who are pessimistic. I'm sorry, negative people that are out there, guys, it's worth really looking into. It's really worth looking into. You will be more successful if you are optimistic, if you are positive. And it is really worth doing the work. So we have some great stuff coming this month, coming up in February about optimism and attitude. For a reason, we came up with this because it made sense in the overall sequence of things. And I really hope that you tap into whatever's there for you, because that's why it's there, because we want you to get however far you want to go based on what you need, and the resources are there.
I love that. And I completely agree. In a world that you can choose whether or not you want to be an optimist or a pessimist, be an optimist.
Yeah.
Sure makes life more interesting and happy to live in.
For sure. And if you need some help, if you need to listen to some audios, if you need to watch a mind movie, if you need to develop a vision board, if you need whatever you need to do. I was thinking yesterday, I had this conversation with Natalie, and she, of course, is huge in the visioning thing, whatever. And I was thinking that I've been in my mind, my wife and I, we want to build a dream home, a forever home. We've had a couple really nice ones, but we want the forever one. And I have certain things that I want in this forever home. One of them is pocket doors. Have you ever been to one of those homes that has huge pocket doors?
I have a pocket door right here to my bathroom. So, yeah.
Well, I want the big ones that are glass, that literally open up a whole living room out onto a patio, onto a whatever, so that it feels like you're literally inside and outside all at the same time. I saw this you see them in magazines, you see them on TV, whatever.
Yes.
But I went to a house that had those, and it was the coolest, most grooviest, awesome thing. I was like, oh my God, I love this. You feel like you're outside when you're inside. It was like the coolest. And I recognize
for me too. I should add that to my list.
Oh, I just love that.
Yeah. I of course have a list of the perfect forever home too. So
well, I was thinking to myself, Natalie was talking about, this is like the day before yesterday. Natalie's talking about how you really have to visualize yourself in that house. And you have to, and it stuck with me as though, you know, as much as you have been doing this for such a long time, Ridgely Goldsborough, you ought to sometimes maybe pay attention to certain things that you've heard like a billion times like that. And so for the last 2 days, I've been visualizing myself walking out of my pocket doors. And I've been thinking about what those pocket doors look like. And I've been really putting myself in that space, talking to myself, saying, I love my pocket doors in present tense right now, affirmation. And that came from a conversation 2 days ago that will be available to all of Groove on February 10th. So it's just coming up. Such incredible stuff that we're going to put out there for you. And my big admonition is get plugged in so we can empower you to do whatever it is you want to do. Go after those dreams, be optimistic, etc. It's super, super great stuff.
This is why I absolutely love the analogy that you started off this conversation with, where you said, you know, do you wash your teeth? Do you wash your body? Do you wash your brain? And your brain is being washed.
One way or the other.
All day long, every day, your brain is being washed, but you get to choose what washes it. And I hope that people choose the great content that you are providing in Groove Growth, as well as some of the amazing content from all of our Groove providers. It's really about getting your mindset in the right place. And just what you said, you knew about visualization, but you hadn't been visualizing that one thing, because we've all forgotten more than we know we have when it comes to small strategies or individual things that can help you get over any, what I call obstacle illusions, these mental blocks that we have that aren't really there, but they seem so big and insurmountable because they are at the moment, because you can't find the tool, even if you know it's in your toolbox. You don't know which tool to call upon, or and staying continually plugged in to a leadership development program like Groove Growth allows you to be reminded of tools that you have in your toolbox.
Yeah.
And it's said that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
That's right.
And that's exactly what happened to you. You were ready for that visualization, and you happen to be having a discussion with Natalie about it.
Yeah. And what's also so cool is when you're plugged in, one of the things that I'm really big into, and I just try as much as I can to remind people, is joy is a fabulous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Living a life full of joy is a really fabulous thing. Whatever it takes for you, whatever spiritual practice you have, whatever else you have. And sometimes it just takes a little tweak to make it easier. Because I know joy comes from within. We all have to do our work, whatever our work, however that looks like. But sometimes a little tweak. And I've been joyfully smiling since my conversation with Natalie about my pocket doors. I'm telling you, my pocket doors are going to become an analogy of some kind for success, because when Groove helps me build my pocket doors, of course, I'm going to give all the credit where it's due to Groove for helping me build my pocket doors. And it's going to be super fun to shoot the video. I can't wait to shoot that video. I'm now, the visualization has gone from just the pocket doors to shooting the pocket doors to doing, you know what I'm saying? Just to evolving that, the richness of it, so that it becomes more real and you continue working and doing what you got to do to make it happen, because pocket doors ain't cheap.
So let me bounce off of that, because you just reminded me. I read somewhere that people get excited not about the thing that they're looking forward to. Let's say you're looking forward to a wedding or, some event. People don't get excited about that thing. They get excited about the stories that they will tell about that thing. Yeah. They imagine things happening so that they can tell that story to other people. So I think what you've just inadvertently said is really, really powerful, because you've gone beyond the wanting the thing to imagining the story that you will tell about the thing. And that is really where the motivation is. Like, none of us really want stuff to have stuff. We want stuff to brag about it. We want experiences to brag about them. So we look forward to the brag. So maybe that is a slight switch that will flip a switch for someone. Instead of thinking about what your goals are, imagine bragging about attaining those goals to someone else.
Yeah, for sure. Sharing and that pride and the feeling that you get about, wow, I did it. And I love the celebration. And believe me, I don't think you should celebrate forever, because there's always something else to get on to be moving into. Who else are you going to help? Who else are you going to serve? Where else are you going to make a contribution? But certainly having think about my brother and his wife are about to show up at my house in the next hour or so. I'm really looking forward to them being here. And my brother's wife has never been here. Well, in my kitchen, we have a 13-foot long island, about 4 to 5 feet wide, made from redwood. Now, to get a redwood island, you have to buy it today and wait until the next redwood tree falls down. So you can't go get it. It's not available. It's illegal, right? So something has to happen, a mudslide, a something in order. So the guy who had the house before us, it took 13 years to get this table.
Wow.
It's the coolest thing ever. Well, I can't wait. So what do you think? Do you think I was up there polishing that table last night? You think I can't wait to get my sister-in-law in here to go, hey, check out our redwood table? Yeah, nice. Right. That feeling. And there's nobody that comes into the house that doesn't hear the story about that this is redwood and that you cannot get it under any circumstances unless a tree falls over, which happens. The whole thing is so cool that you want to share it. And every time, it's not like I'm every day walking around going, awesome redwood table, man. But whenever that happens, you have an opportunity to share in that victory. It's like, hey, check out the table. That's the thing, right? Yeah. That's the thing.
And we want to share in your victories, whether it's a redwood table or the new website that you built, or anything, anything that that is so ingrained in our company culture that I do a meeting every Monday morning with my marketing team, And one of the first things everybody talks about what their a win from the prior week is, and then, you know, their goals and blockers for this next week. But very specifically, that win from the prior week can be about work, but also about things that are outside of work and their personal lives. We want to celebrate all those wins, and we want to celebrate those wins with you. So be sure to let us know in the members area when you're experiencing a win in your life, and give us the, you know, that's giving us the gift of being able to celebrate it with you, as well as, you know, having the celebration on your behalf as a gift to you.
I love this. It says, two of my favorite people. Woot, woot. So excited for Groove Growth. Thanks. Level up. Haha, two of mine also. Awesome stuff, guys. Wow, I needed to hear this today. Thank you both. And that's the comment that we end on, because that's the one that is like, yeah, that's why we're here. We're here for you. We want to be here for you. And I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Any last words before we wrap up today?
Love you, Ridgely, and love you, Groovesters, who are watching, and those of you who are watching in the future when this is on replay.
And I love you too, Donna Fox. Unbelievable, fantastic. Everybody go out there and find your groove. We'll see you again next month on this same live, and also many times recorded throughout the month on Groove Growth. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day and a fabulous 2022.